If you've ever stayed at a roadside motel, you know they have a certain smell. Old cigarettes, industrial cleaner, and desperation. I worked the graveyard shift, 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. at a motel in Nebraska for 2 years. Usually the only problems I had were drunk truckers or broken ice machines. But on a freezing night in January, I received a phone call that made me hand in my resignation the next morning. It was dead quiet. A blizzard had shut down the interstate, so we had 0 check-ins after midnight. I was sitting behind the front desk, watching a movie on the lobby TV with the volume turned down low. At 2:45 a.m., the switchboard phone rang. I jumped. I looked at the caller ID. It said, Room 215. I frowned. Room 215 was in the East Wing, the section of the motel we had closed off for renovations. The pipes had burst a week earlier, so the carpet was ripped up and the electricity was supposedly cut to that block. No one was checked into that room. I picked up the phone. "Front desk, this is Mark." "Hello?" I asked. "Is anyone there?" The breathing stopped. Then a voice so faint I had to press the receiver hard against my ear whispered, "The water. It's too hot." Then the line clicked dead. I sat there, frozen. The voice sounded like an old woman, fragile, confused. I checked the computer system. Room 215 was definitely listed as vacant or out of order. I figured it was a technical glitch. Maybe the storm was messing with the phone lines, or maybe a homeless person had broken in to get out of the snow. I grabbed the master key card and a heavy maglite flashlight. I had to go check. If a pipe had burst again, I needed to know. I put on my coat and walked outside. The wind was howling. The east wing was dark. Plywood was nailed over some of the windows. I reached the door of room 215. The electronic lock was dead. No little green light. I tried the key card, but the battery in the lock was dead. I used the physical master key to unlock the deadbolt. I pushed the door open. The smell hit me first. It didn't smell like old pipes. It smelled like rot, like wet drywall and something sweet, like spoiled meat. I shined my flashlight around. The room was a disaster. The carpet was stripped to the concrete. The drywall was torn open, exposing the studs. Plastic sheeting hung from the ceiling, swaying in the draft. "Hello? Security?" I called out. Silence. Then I heard it, the sound of a shower running. I walked slowly toward the bathroom. The door was closed. Steam was curling out from underneath the door, illuminated by my flashlight beam. "Ma'am?" I said, my voice shaking. "You can't be in here." I reached out and turned the doorknob. It was unlocked. I pushed the door open. The shower curtain was drawn. The water was blasting, hot steam filling the tiny room. I reached forward and ripped the curtain back. The shower was empty, just water hitting the cracked tile. I stared at it, confused. I reached in to turn the knob off. The water was scalding hot. As I turned the water off, the sudden silence in the room made a new sound audible. A thump. It came from the ceiling, directly above my head. I looked up. The drop ceiling tiles in the bathroom were soggy. Water was dripping from the edges. And then one of the tiles shifted. A hand, a pale, bony hand, shot down from the darkness of the ceiling cavity and grabbed my wrist. I screamed and yanked my arm back. The grip was incredibly strong. I swung my flashlight and hit the arm. The hand let go. I didn't wait to see what was attached to the hand. I scrambled backwards, tripping over the toilet, and ran out of the bathroom. As I ran through the gutted bedroom, I heard a heavy crash behind me. The ceiling tiles had given way. Something heavy had landed on the bathroom floor. I sprinted back to the lobby, locked the doors, and called the police. When the officers arrived, they went into room 215 with guns drawn. They found a woman. She was in her late 60s, wearing a tattered nightgown. She was huddled in the corner of the gutted room, shivering. She'd been living in the crawl space above the drop ceiling for weeks. She'd been crawling between rooms over the renovation zone, coming down at night to use the showers and steal food from the housekeeping carts. But that wasn't the scary part. The scary part was what they found in the ceiling where she had been sleeping. They found a phone handset. She had spliced into the hotel's phone line from up in the ceiling. She'd been listening to every call I made at the front desk, every reservation, every credit card number, every conversation. And when they asked her why she called me that night, why she whispered that the water was too hot, she smiled at the officer and said, "I wasn't talking to him. I was talking to the man standing behind him." I reviewed the security footage of the lobby from the moment I took the call. At 2:45 a.m. while I was on the phone, the camera shows me staring at the receiver, and in the reflection of the glass door behind me, you can see a shadow, a tall, dark figure standing right behind my chair watching me. When I stood up to go to room 215, the shadow slipped into the back office. The police searched the office. The back window was unlatched. Footprints in the snow led away from the motel. The woman in the ceiling wasn't the threat. She was warning me. She saw the man on the monitors. She had tapped into the video feed too. I quit the next day. I don't work nights anymore, and I never, ever answer a phone if the caller ID comes from an empty room.